Ed and Lorraine Warren, self-proclaimed demonologists and paranormal explorers, have been accused of faking many of their cases. Is that true? Well, hello there, my friends. Thank you for being patient. I get another video. I still, if you could tell, my voice is not fully there, and I apologize. I am feeling a lot better, and I'm getting there. I think a lot of it has to do with my allergies right now. There's been high pollen, and this happens to me. Anyway, it is always a pleasure to sit down with you. We get to share our thoughts and theories. I am Dee Sparta, and welcome to my channel. Now, this is where we dive into the mysterious and unsolvable, then try to learn more through tarot and other divination tools. If you are new, or just haven't subscribed before, why not? Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I post my videos. I do try and post at least one weekly. Sometimes I'll throw in a bonus. Please also hit the thumbs up, comment down below your thoughts and ideas on today's topic, the Warrens, as well as post your suggestions for future videos. I definitely want to call out some wonderful people who, well, they left the purple hearts from my previous video. Yes, those who stuck around to the end. I did say I'd do a shout out if you remember to leave that purple heart. So, Felicia Barella, Sarah Rayo, and Mandela A, thank you so much. Yeah, I see I've switched sides now. Everything's on the left because that's usually where I would normally go, and I went instinctively the opposite direction. I'll get this straight sometime, folks. Thank you. You know what? Questioning Elon Musk, something like that, he probably does. It could explain, when you ask if he has ADD or ADHD or some mania, it is likely, he is a genius and comes with it. Sometimes there is some mental health issues there. A lot of geniuses do have there are known to be geniuses who do have ADD or ADHD. So, well, okay, we got that said. But no, I don't know for certain. I didn't look into it. I'm curious, though. Anyway, let's get into Ed and Lorraine Warren, fact or fraud, paranormal investigators, and self-proclaimed demonologists. I always put the self-proclaimed there because that's also used, and I want it clear. They did not go through school and learn demonology or, get degree in some kind of, spiritual thing such as I have, okay? I've actually studied demonology and angelology and the celestial beings. I think that's why I've started that new web novel that I do have. I'll have links posted below. I moved it from where I had it web novel, and I've put it over at Wattpad, Tapia's, and I forget where else, but it's there. Because, yeah, I've always been fascinated by the spirit world. Now, if you don't believe in the paranormal or the spiritual world around us, then hauntings and exorcisms will come across, you'll think, as fake. Now, on the other hand, bear with me, folks, there are people who do believe in the afterlife and in angels and demons, and I am one of those peoples, okay? Now, the idea that there are ghosts who live among us can be comforting and frightening. I would say sometimes just terrifying, right? Now, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren are well known for investigating hauntings and possessions. And you may be familiar with the Warrens from the many books and movies made about the hauntings and investigations they've worked on. I've also covered several of their cases. I've done Annabelle, Amityville. I'm trying to think. I did The Boy Who Cried Wolf, or The Devil Made Me Do It. That's the one. Yeah, that's it. The guy who said The Devil Made Me Do It. And I think I did was there any others? Not off the top of my head. I'll have a playlist of the Warren cases. Okay, I'll set that up. So if you ever want to watch any of those, from those cases, you're like, well, do you know? I have debunked. I felt like debunked some of their cases. Some of it, I think, it has a lot to do with being in the moment and wanting to believe something is there. Sometimes I think things were exaggerated. I had a feeling that they were, because they put themselves under the Catholic Church, that they would exaggerate things in order to help people, to get the Vatican to approve exorcisms. Yeah. Now, if you want to stick around and learn a little bit more about the Warrens, some of their cases, and why some people have called them hoaxes, frauds, fake, I'm going to cover some of that. And then we'll go into the tarot reading. And I do have the chapter links set up for you down below because I got your back. All right, folks. Let's get into this. Hi. Now, I'm just going to start diving in to we're going to start at Ed and Lorraine in their adult life. I'm not going to cover their childhood. I may do something like that in the future if we ever decide to tackle them again, their situation. But the whole with them being demonologists and their cases all started when they got married. All right. So they were married in 1945. They were members from the Roman Catholic Church. Now, in 1946, Lorraine, they gave birth to their daughter, who's Judy Warren. And the Warrens had some beliefs about possession that I disagree on. They say demonic forces were likely to possess those who lacked faith. And no, I'm going to say big, huge no. Listen to me very carefully. There's demonic possessions and demonic attachments. Sometimes they'll say you got the little devil on your shoulder whispering, telling you to do something that you shouldn't do. That's more of like that's one way to describe what it would be to have a demonic attachment to you. If you live in filth and you just don't take care of, don't take responsibility for your actions. If you are just a bad person, you have weaknesses. Sometimes it's your mental health, you're depressed, and the little demon can be like, hey, you're weak, I can take advantage and try and mess with you more. Yeah, but you're not possessed, okay? A true possession, you have to invite those motherfuckers in. You have to be like, hey, here I am, and use me. Okay? There's a difference, folks. And that's where now you can have attachments that we get stronger and stronger where it's harder to release them, to get rid of them. It's because if you more and more listen, the more you listen, then the worse it gets, pretty much. And that's where I stand on this kind of thing. I don't agree with the Vatican saying, only the Vatican can approve these kind of things. Bullshit. Where I came from, It was not possess. We didn't call it exorcisms. It was a deliverance because mainly, we believe that you were having attachments on you, and we were freeing you as we pray and demand these demons to be gone and out of your life. And that is definitely what I would sense. Believe more like they will attach themselves to inanimate objects, to the energy in a room. If something has happened horrible, it kind of is like, ooh, this is kind of nice vibe here, and I'm gonna stick around. Now there's also angels, and angels are all around us. They're our guardians, and they can help be our guides. They help protect us. Sometimes they'll give us their little voice saying, hey, you know what, why don't you go do this instead, or let's try this, and more positive things to do, or telling you maybe you shouldn't do something because they're wanting to warn you something could happen. And so that's definitely kind of along the lines more of I believe. I can get into all that talk of angels and demons, but I'm just giving you a little brief where I stand, so you understand my point of view coming in to this, where I disagree with the Warrens on certain things. Okay, do I believe that a Catholic Church exorcism could work? Yes. Do I think it's the only way? No. We got that out there, okay. You might have heard of David Considine. He's done like a haunting different series he'll show up on. But their nephew, John Zavis, I think this guy's pretty cool. I haven't done any research, but I loved watching his show, Haunted Collector. And I will still rewatch those episodes. He and his team would go into a situation and try and find what is attracting spirits, ghosts or demons or what have you, into this home. Usually there was an object, something that's been left behind for centuries ago, and that's what's caused the manifestation of a haunting. And that to me was more believable than some of this other stuff. So I did like how he did that case. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say he's a fraud or not, but I do believe he's pretty much on the spot with things. So we want to kind of go into different cases. Now we've done Annabelle, and these girls had claimed, the doll was possessed, and I'm going to say this right now, that doll sitting there right now in their museum is not possessed at all. The demon just took off. It's like, whatever. I'm bored now. I'm stuck in here. I'll go off and go find fun elsewhere. That's pretty much. And I think it was there mainly because it was manifested because people kept coming up with these stories. So yeah. Did I think some of the stuff was exaggerated? Yeah. All right. There's also the Perron family. Now, okay, so I'm going in a timeline, because Annabelle was like in 1968, and the Perron family, they were haunted, as they claim, by a witch. And that is the very first, The Conjuring. I don't think I've covered the Perron family. Perron. I might have. Don't think so. They were in 1971, which is a year before I was born. Ooh. And this was before they were famous. But because of what happened with the Perron family, the Lutzes knew to contact the Warrens. And you're like, the Lutzes? Now who are they? They might sound familiar, especially if you watched any of these Amityville horror movies. They became popular in 1975 with the Amityville Horror. Because George and Kathy Lutz claimed that they had their house was haunted, there was violent demonic presence. and that they had to leave. People believe that this was a hoax. Um, Lorraine Warren has swore it's not a hoax. Um, Now, what's interesting is there really was a murder there. The son came in the middle of the night and slaughtered his family. I do believe that he was under some demonic attachment, and he caved in and did this. Because I think I think there was something hidden also with that family. Then he just lost it. And so people were saying because of these killings, that happened, that there was a demon. Well, I think the demon kind of went off with the son. I don't believe that the house was really haunted. I would say there was probably residual energy causing things. And I do believe a lot of things were exaggerated. I really got that feeling. And once again, some of the exaggerations I felt was because they wanted to really help these people who were scared, and were telling them, hey, this place is bad. And if you exaggerate it, if you try and say this is how serious it is, then the Vatican would approve any kind of, exorcism of a building, a home, or a person. So, but there's been a lot of people saying that it was all a hoax, and the Lutzes just wanted to make money, which they did make money. In England, there was the Enfield poltergeist. Now, folks, I have information that I studied about that particular, because, well, you see, the girls involved in that haunting who said that when they were about 45, they came out and admitted that they had faked the paranormal activity. That when people weren't looking, they would move things, throw things. In the picture that was supposedly of the one daughter, Janet, levitating, that it really, if you look closely, she's jumping off her bed and they just catch her mid-flight, which, people do. Okay. And also, I like to point out with Amityville, that when they got famous, there was a friend of the Lutz family who said, yeah, they made it all up. They were even told, hey, more exaggerate, we could get a book or something done. And then there were movies came after that too. I think one of the weird cases is where they don't have any documentation, no evidence proving that this person existed. What happened was the werewolf man that they claimed to be possessed by a werewolf. Yeah. Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe they were protecting his identity. I don't know. Now, I did cover Arnie Johnson, which is the devil made me do it. This is also a movie now. Apparently, his girlfriend's or fiance's son, David, gets possessed when they're looking into buying a home, but they end up going somewhere, elsewhere. But the demons attached itself to the kid. The Warrens come in to try and do an exorcism. Apparently, Arnie Cheyenne Jackson had apparently challenged the demon, and so the demon attached and possessed himself. Now, I'll tell you, I have challenged many demons. I've never been possessed. Okay. you do poke at them because you break down their ego. And you get their name, okay? So I really, he might have believed that he was, but mainly it was probably just an attachment, and it was telling him, go do this. And he was like, yeah, I think I will. I think he was jealous of the other guy, thought the other guy was going to touch his woman. I really have, see, I have a hard time believing, don't I? I really do. Holy moly. There's also, I want to talk about Judith Penny. See, this is controversial. This is all alleged. I'm going to put this out here. This is alleged. I do not have proof, but as a minor, she apparently had a relationship with Ed Warren that Lorraine knew about, and Penny moved in with them. Now, Penny, I'm going to refer to her as Penny because they also have their daughter Judy, okay? I don't want the Judys to get all confused here. So, Penny was about 15 years old when this relationship allegedly started. Penny goes on to say that she did become pregnant with Ed's child, and she was forced into an abortion. Now, people always called Penny, say, oh, she's our niece. She's a, child of a friend of ours. They're staying with us. But it seems like maybe more, and maybe some of this would come out because they talk about Catholic priests and all of the essay that happened there and all the P word that, I could see why someone would try and attach that to Ed Warren, but at the same time, there's just a vibe about it I get that, maybe be surprised. Now, some say that the Ed and Lorraine's relationship wasn't this happy, blissful thing, that Ed was taking advantage when he saw that his wife was a medium and wanted to use it to make money and push things. It's also said that Ed was verbally and physically abusive to Lorraine. Interesting. And Penny talks about this. So I don't know how reliable Penny is, but I'm not going to say someone didn't, I want to believe her story of what happened. Now, Penny also claims that the whole lady in white with the photo, it's fake. Ed faked the video and everything, and he used Penny. Penny was the lady in white. And that's like, okay. There's also the Sedeker house, and you might have seen the movie about that. This house was originally a funeral home, and apparently it's supposedly infested with demons. Yeah, the book, once again, people going the book was probably hoaxed. People are saying that the family was going through serious problems like alcoholism and drug addiction, so they couldn't keep their story straight. And this was the author of the book who helped write the book, and he was like, it was frustrating to try and get all this. There was just a lot of loopholes and story changes. The movie you might have seen is The Haunting in Connecticut, which is outside of the Conjuring series. Okay. Well, then there was the Smurl haunting, which is with the Smurl family. They believe that there would be, that there were sounds and smells and ghosts running around. And they also said, okay, there's these 4 spirits and a demon that essayed both Jack and Janet. They wrote a book called The Haunted. Um, Now, interestingly enough, members of the clergy had come to the house before the Warrens because they wanted to come and bless the home, see what they could find. And they're saying, yeah, there was no haunting. But the Warrens came and said, yes. I, there's just, I don't know. I don't want to sit here because some people really respect and appreciate what the Warrens did, and it, helped push their careers. Um, I don't want to sit there and crash people's image of someone, but sometimes you have to take a real hard look and be like, was this for real? Was this really done this way? Were things possibly exaggerated or flat out faked? And why? Cha-ching money is what I'm thinking. Fame, I don't know. It, I, I am nervous about this video because I realize as I started, I wanted to believe in the Warrens, but the more I'm talking, the more I'm like, So I want to clear out, go in with an open mind into this next reading, and whoo, we can do this, folks. Hey, welcome back. Yes, we are here to do a tarot reading on the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine Warren. See, what kind of we noticed about how legit their investigations were. Yeah, so please remember that everything in here is all alleged and for entertainment purposes. I do not have animosity towards the Warrens. I always am more of a skeptic going into things until I get that when I really can feel or see proof, or if the cards show me something, that my angels and ancestors speak to me now. Yes, I do listen to music right now. I just have Spotify playlist. It's called D Jams. I use this to help me not get distracted outside things. Okay, well, first let me hold this up. This is the Ten of Cups, and it's reversed. And I was going to say this is Ed and this is Lorraine, and have that middle. So what is interesting is, usually the guy with the cups, he's kind of like looking over his shit like, but here it's upside down. And that makes me go, what? Why is this all upside down? Because this usually talks about he's usually looks upon with the cups going, I have family, I have all I need, I'm doing well. But this is saying there's some kind of dispute, especially with family. It's not as solid. Yeah. So let's see what else. Okay. Over here we have the Devil, and it's reversed. You know what? I'm getting lagged, and I am so sorry. This case has a hard time seeing this background, seeing these cards. And I apologize for that too. Let me see something. I don't know if that actually helped. I'll show a close-up of the Devil here, folks. As I said, the devil is reversed in this situation. I just usually devil means you're doing stuff to trap yourself. You know, it's your own personal like sabotage. But I just with it reversed. I think Lorraine, she was a medium, but at the same time, was limited because of beliefs. And I would have to say that probably has to do with the Catholic Church. Alright, and here's the middle card. Alright. Oh, I like this one. This is the Star. This is about spirituality. Being inspired by spirituality. This is finding purpose and having hope and faith. I would say they really were staunch Catholics. I really believe that they did believe in demons and angels. They definitely had gifts. But I think Ed was more broken and disappointed about things than letting on to believe. Letting on for us to believe, you know? Okay, so the Page of Pentacles is under here, and this is telling me that he had issues with following through. I think, you know, this sometimes upside is like a financial opportunity, and I see this more as abusing the financial opportunity, taking advantage of it. Lorraine. Alright. This is the Five of Pentacles reversed. Ooh, Lorraine. This has to do with spiritual poverty, folks. Being needy spiritually, not being fulfilled. And that might have to do with Ed. Let's see here. She was being suppressed, I think. Ooh, okay. This card came out reversed too, and this is our loveless sun. Yeah. The sun usually is brings an enlightenment, but this is more of like a childlikeness we're seeing with but overly positive about things. Optimism. They're overly, yeah, this is legit. This is real. This is which I see where we would get some exaggeration coming from. Okay. Now here's the Four of Swords, and this is reversed. He was always living on edge. I mean, this guy, he didn't take time to take care of himself. I think he was not happy in his marriage either. That it was a show. I think he just felt burnt out. He just was like, I don't think he slept well. The Two of Pentacles. These two kids, creepy, huh? So Lorraine had to do a lot of adjusting of herself, adapting to what Ed wanted to do, which did hurt her spiritually and her gifts as a medium. I think maybe his motivations and hers were a little off, and I think it clouded some things for her. Oh, okay. We got ourselves the Queen of Cups reversed. All right. Oh boy. I think they try to act like martyrs. All the people giving them hoax, accusing them of being a hoax, okay? They acted like a victim and used that to take advantage of that people would come and help them and believe in them. It was like they were put up on this pedestal of like, oh, they're so wonderful. Mm-hmm. They're willing to sacrifice their own image to help others. Oh, they're so good. Here's the High Priestess reverse. Oh, Eddie boy. Oh, Eddie boy. His silence on certain topics is very telling. He was very deceptive. He is full of secrets. Yeah. When it comes to he's very disconnected spiritually. He really was. I mean, the guy really. I feel I need to do this because so. He was very disconnected, which hurt Lorraine's connection, as we could see. Oh, bound woman, upside down, the sword, Eight of Swords. She was very critical of herself. Very critical of herself. A little too hard, and because of that, it held her back. I think that would frustrate, Ed would be like, come on, there's got to be more to it. Why can't you see? And push, push, push. And she's like, I can't just make something up. And I think it kind of blocked her up some. His energy was not good for her. It was like, it's leeching off of her. Okay, the Six of Wands, but it's reversed. Usually the Six of Wands, you're like, yeah, but this has to do with pride. Wanting recognition, feeling like they don't get enough attention. So pride was involved with all their help. This was very self-serving. They were not actually wanting to help, it's like, I think Lorraine wanted to really help others. Ed might have started that way, but really took advantage. Especially Amityville, it was like clicked. Hey, we gotta do books. We gotta make money off of this. And here's the Lovers. And this is over Ed. And I was worried. I thought if I saw the Lovers, that means he probably cheated on his wife. And because that card popped up, and then because I had put that in my mind before starting the reading, makes me go, ooh. And here's Death over Lorraine. So, oh, that's juicy. That is. This has to do with their relationship pretty much ending, or they're just like, no, she was being replaced. because there were changes in her relationship with Ed. Oh, wow. The King of Pentacles popped up here. That is Ed, okay? And his focus is on wealth, wanting wealth. He wanted to have abundance. And abundance and wealth, not just financially, but romantically, I guess, maybe. I'm trying to say here. Let me... Okay, the Four of Pentacles is reversed here. He's greedy, and he would do anything to protect himself. And money he hoarded onto. He wanted to get as much money and live a good life. Okay. Ace of Cups is reversed, and that's a little heartbreaking because she's having to repress so much of her true feelings of what's going on in her own personal life. She didn't love herself enough, I think, is really telling here. And here's the Ace of Wands reversed. There was a lack of passion, and Ed was very bored with his relationship when it came to Lorraine. Oh boy, there is a lag. I am so sorry. Okay, this card popped out at me. Okay, the Queen of Pentacles. Huh. I think this has to do with another person, a woman in Ed's life, whom he clung to because she would be more nurturing than Lorraine was. She would help him fake things because of the money. So she could help bring in money by doing things. Okay, the King of Cups is over here, over Lorraine. She was very much an empath. Where she could control her emotions, anything bad, and remain calm, Ed could not. Okay. Okay, and the Seven of Wands is reversed over here in the middle. Just giving up. I think Lorraine had pretty much given up on her marriage. So had Ed. But they kept everything because, well, first of all, being Catholic, there is no, they can't really divorce. They have to keep up appearances. Their whole thing, when our people knew them as, is a loving couple to help other people and save them from demons. Here's the Six of Pentacles, and it's reversed, folks. And this just tells you Ed owed a lot of money, and he was very selfish. How him helping people, it wasn't to help people, it was to help him. That just right there, and that's what I've been saying, and that's what the Six of Pentacles is about. Reversed, it's very self-centered. Oh wow, here's the tower reversed over our precious little Lorraine here. Um, she she stuck around. She didn't like change. She was very introverted. She was very calm. She was like, I don't want change and experience what I don't know. I can stay here, and I know it, even if it's not good for me. You know, she was willing to put up with stuff. Um, she needed to take a step, but she was too afraid to. Yep, here's the Seven of Swords. You see the woman trying to, like, hey, looking around, I gotta get myself out of here because of betrayal, deception, getting away with things. This is getting away with stuff. Ed and Lorraine were getting away with exaggerating and preying on people who thought there was haunted demon possession. I don't think they really knew enough to fully help. You know, wow. I did the cards, man. They've kind of verified some things that was being said when I explained about a little bit about Ed and Lorraine and some with the accusations of hoaxes and an affair with a minor. I'm pulling out the Lenormand deck. If you are part of my channel, you're very familiar with this deck. If you're not familiar with this, this is a tarot deck set. Originally, it was being used during the Victorian days. Tarot was very popular in the Victorian days. And in Europe, they came up with the Lenormand deck. And it's read differently than tarot cards. There's no reverses. And the positioning of the cards in a 3-card layout and going down is how it's like, okay, what's next to it? So this card could mean something different depending on what the other card next to it says. Well, that could also be so in tarot, regular tarot. This is specifically how this works with the Lenormand deck. And I love this deck. And this is my gilded version, and I just love the imagery. It's so beautiful. Okay. $39. Now, this deck also has an extended version where there's extra cards that weren't in the original, and I have both kinds of decks, but I really do like using this. This is we got to see what's next to it, but a lot of this is like gameplay and having fun, but it also can be a gamble, a dangerous gamble. Well, so let's see what we can kind of, you know. This is good or bad, folks. Oh. Here is the well. You have to dig deeper to get the true story. Ooh. Folks. 21, the mountain. This is an obstruction, struggle. There's no path through this mountain. Folks, look at these guys here. They were playing with fire, taking a gamble, doing things, obstructing the view. And you have to dig deeper. Now, I also am I'm getting this. They didn't have to embellish some of these cases as they did. And because they embellished, it's discrediting what has actually taken place. So some of these hauntings were probably legit. Just they exaggerated so much that it's hard to believe. And they were not seeing the true thing. Now here's 33. You see the cage with the key. Okay. Okay. Let's see. There's a key to understanding all this. Okay, 26. This is all about secrets. There could be a diary or something, someone from Lorraine or someone in their circle who realized that they were hiding things, and kept journaling of what was exaggerated and what wasn't. That's like, there's a lot of secrets. In 31, here is the sun. Here comes the sun. Interestingly enough, even though there were a lot of secrets and they exaggerated things, what they did for these people did help. And it was successful. And it was also successful in getting money. People were truly helped. Okay, 34. We got the fishes. I love the little fishies. This is all about money. The key to why there were so many secrets and why they exaggerate things is it's all in the money, honey. In the money. I think Lorraine was more of wanting to help, where we got Ed in the money. And here's the cross. Number 36. And this catches me. This is about religion. This is about suffering and a burden. The burden was keeping things a secret. And I think the church, the Vatican, might have known too. But we're like, these people are so popular, we have to go along with stuff for their sake. For our sake too. Because they would look bad not helping others. This is loyalty, being trustworthy. These people were very loyal. They're very loyal. There are people who are extremely loyal to the Warrens and will die with their secrets because they don't want to. They're making that sacrifice. That's with this card right here, sacrifice, because they really do believe that there was good and they don't want to take away from that. As we see here, this is number 20, which is a cage, which has this like gardeny, cagey feel, huh? This garden. So, oh wow, they really were into networking, getting into the public eye, socializing, promoting things, promoting their books and adventures. Gosh, they just had so many. I just get this. I got to get another card for this. What about these dreams? Their hopes and dreams. of protection and money. It was all deceptive. We got the snake. Betrayal, trouble, deceitful woman is often with the snake. So Lorraine was going along being very deceitful with Ed. I think she also did feel betrayed by Ed because of these things. Wow. Okay, I'll grab 3 more cards. I wasn't going to, but something just said do it. Birdcage, the man. Okay. And he's over all the deceit and the secrets. And I get this as a duality that there is a man who knows them and could reveal. And also it's Ed. These bird cage, which is number 12 in this deck. The birds. This is all gossip about a couple, which tells me, hey, the gossip about there's a lot of gossip about Ed and Lorraine and Ed and Penny. Yeah. Let's see what the third card's going to bring me. $30 lilies. Oh. I don't know if I like this too well. See, this could deal with family, but it also could be this guy's libido, where he likes sex. And Lorraine, she's seen as this lily who is pure. You know, the Warrens are from an older generation, and this kind of things were different then. And you hear that. So they were able to get away and hide, things a lot easier. There was no social media. If there had been, it would have been things. Here I pull up the social media card. Bam! I believe that things would have came to light. And here's number 12. I think, they would have been able to hide. Once again, the birds come up again. It's like we're dealing with gossip, a cheater. Yeah. Uh-huh. I didn't want to see this card. Here's the kid. Diviner. She with the man. I really didn't want. This is alleged, folks. I am not going to come out here and say I can't. This is a heavy accusation for a man who did such good, and so it's so hard. And in this case, I really want to believe the victim. Let me. I need another card. The mask. Covering up, hiding. Something's being protected. A secret. Yeah. So. Shit. 35, the anchor. Being held down. That is really sad, folks. Mm, I get that creepy vibe from Ed. The movie version of Ed, he's a nice guy, right? But when you watch Ed, you know, that's an actor. An actor plays it. But there's always been something for me just a whole little off. When I'd see him in these interviews and arguing with other people who handle paranormal things and demonology, he often went against what other demonologists were saying. And, like, even when I would say, as a theologian, someone who studied demonology, angelology, studied the spirit world, went to college, okay, in school. So one of my teachers, he was originally a NASA engineer, but he had experience in his life that made him realize that there is a spirit world. There are gifts, there's healing, there's divination. Yeah, so, you know, I learned from people like this who tries to look at things, break it down in a logical sense, and to be skeptic until you get that, you can verify or feel that verification. More things are shown that verify instead of discredit. And honestly, I feel bad. I think people were hurt along the way with some of their conjectures and some of the accounts of, you know, my mind just went blank. I think people were hurt. I think anybody who was claimed to have been possessed, I get this feeling that I'm seeing this one boy and how it hurt him because it was so public. And the mocking and the bullying from this being so public. I don't think the Warrens had always the people's best interest in mind, because if they did, you'd protect the children in these families from being exposed to negativity and people wanting to put them down, make fun of them. I think they should have been much more low-key in protecting the people they needed to protect. They needed to go forward more so with, yeah. You know, here's a picture of the Warrens, folks, and you know, I see this mischievous funness in Lorraine. And then you have the serious tone of Ed here. And it just, I don't know, something. And it all started here with Amityville house. House. This house. Yeah. There was so much residual energy that it could also fool someone into believing that this was really spirits and demons involved and not just residual energy that needs to be swept, saged out, cleaned out, prayed out, you know, because if you don't, then it'll manifest and yeah, you will get crazy things happening. You could even get a poltergeist going on there if you if you feed into it. Here's a picture I wanted to show of Lorraine with the Annabelle doll. Now, I love Raggedy Ann dolls. I called my Yang Yang because I don't know how to pronounce Raggedy Ann. So it's Yang Yang. I still love these dolls, and I just don't see anything spooky here. I think that's why they had, for the Annabelle movie, they made the doll look all like more lifelike, a porcelain doll, and scary. You know, I collect dolls and Barbies and such, and I've never had an experience where my dolls haunted me, you know, never. If they ever did, I think, yeah, I would say something. I would let people know. Although I might be like, oh, I'll just keep quiet. Maybe people think I'm crazy. Maybe you think that now because I'm doing tarot. Yeah. Let's get real here, folks. I'm a queer media. You know, talking about LGBTQ. Coming up is June, which is Pride Month. I want to talk about what's going to be happening coming in June. June is a very special month. It's a very celebratory month here in my family. We are queer AF as fuck. Let me tell you, proud. I couldn't be proud when I was younger. I had to hide. I am 50 years old, folks. I was born in 1972. And I want to cover some of the journey of the history, modern day history of the LGBTQ community, doing tarot readings and just, investigative reporting on situations that people may not realize what pride means. Why is pride in June? I will cover all that. I'm going to be covering things from Sodom and Gomorrah, where I will show you things were taken out of context and these innuendos and inference of that the sin God's wrath was because of homosexuality. I'm going to use legit scripture here that's going to prove to you that's all wrong. I'm going to tell you, we're going to go by science here of where they found where these cities could have been along the Dead Sea. And talking about, how fire rained down. It's an asteroid explosion. Different things. I'm going to get into that. I'm also going to get into Stonewall, which is the riots that happened in June. It's why we have Pride in June. I'm also going to talk about the gay panic defense, which was used by straight people who harmed, hurt, killed homosexuals, lesbians, transgender people, bisexual, you name it, the LGBTQ community, and changes of that with the Matthew Shepard case, whom Matthew Shepard was tortured and murdered by someone who tried to claim the gay defense. I also am going to touch on the AIDS epidemic and how that hurt the gay community, the LGBTQ community. And just kind of go into how rumors and false beliefs, fake news, spread and how harmful it was to the gay community, okay? The LGBTQ community. I'm talking the whole umbrella of us. And I might, there might be even more case stuff. If you have things dealing with LGBTQ cases that you'd like to see me cover in the month of June, please comment down below. And this time, y'all, give me the crystal ball emoji if you've been here to the end. I love you guys. Remember, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I'll see you next time. Bye.